Hey, I'm Joey Massio, and this is the Firmly Founded Teen, Episode 7 Dreams Come True and Nightmares Too. Today is all about how what you think becomes reality, like for realsies, and I'll prove it to you. First, let me tell you about a moment that I'll never forget from my sophomore year of high school. It was a moment that would define who I was for the rest of my life. I was sitting in class, and it was an elective class, so it had a mix of students from all grades. At that time in my life, I wasn't the sparkling pillar of confidence that you currently see before you. I was awkward looking and pretty much unimportant and unnoticed. But I had a dream. My dream was to be funny. I loved funny movies. Jim Carrey was big back then, and he was my idol. And I envied anybody who was funny. I wanted to be able to make people laugh. And while I was sitting in that class, an opportunity came up for me to make a joke. We were all having a fun group discussion. People were laughing at what other people were saying, and someone said something, and a joke popped inside my head. I don't remember what it was, but I remember thinking, this is going to be funny. So I said it to the whole class. No one laughed. My comment wasn't even acknowledged. They carried on like I had never said anything. And then something worse happened. Kenny Washington, senior and star football player, a comedian in his own right that everybody knew, was sitting on the other side of the class, and he said the exact same joke I had just said seconds before. And the class bursted into laughter. In that moment, I knew three things. The joke I had to come up with was funny. I didn't have the social status to say it. And one day I was going to. It would be known that I was funny. Now, that was important to me. That was the dream I had. Nightmares are the opposite of dreams. Think about it. A dream is sitting on the beach with a beautiful girl who wants to kiss you. A nightmare is running through a dark alley with an ugly monster that wants to eat you. A dream is having superpowers, saving the day while everyone cheers for you. A nightmare is standing on a stage in your underwear, powerless, while everyone laughs at you. So, what was the opposite of my dream? To have people know that I'm funny? It was to have people know that I think I'm funny, but I'm really not. So over the next several years, I put myself on stage in front of crowds and in talent shows, trying to achieve my dream. And before every event, I had two thoughts I could think. First one was, people are going to think I'm funny, or people are not going to think I'm funny. I always chose the first, the dream. The nightmare would try to find its place, but I wouldn't let it. Now, did everyone always think I was funny? Probably not. But did I think I was funny? Yes. And that made me funnier, because the more I thought I was funny, the more I thought that other people would think I was funny. And the more I thought about that, the more I thought about my audience's experience and what they would want to see. And the more I thought about that, the more capable and confident I became at delivering content that would make people laugh. 3 years after my experience in that elective class, and after countless hours of writing, practicing, and performing, in my senior year, this scrawny, unknown, and unfunny kid was voted most humorous by my senior class. And the kid in charge of tallying the votes told me that I won by a landslide. He told me, Joey, if we added up second and third place, they wouldn't even come close to you. That was my dream. And I'm still living the dream. My kids think I'm hilarious. So, what is your dream right now? I think the dreams we have when we are teens are the most powerful. Teen dreams are the most powerful because we honestly believe they can come true. We are young enough to think that anything can happen to make them come true. Teen nightmares are also the most powerful. Why? The same reason. We believe they can come true. We are young enough to think that anything can happen to make them come true. The question is, which do you give more power to in your life? Because whichever you give more power to, spend more time thinking about, is more likely to happen. Don't believe me? Have you ever been worried to talk to someone you have a crush on because you are afraid you might sound like an idiot? And you keep thinking, well, I don't want to sound like an idiot. I mean, if I talk to them, I might sound like an idiot. Then you talk to them while you're thinking that, and what happens? You sound like an idiot. Your thoughts are self-fulfilling prophecies. The more you choose to believe your dream is possible, the more likely you are to will it into existence. Now, right now, you're probably thinking, well, what about when dreams don't come true? Yes, sure, that does happen. But riddle me this. Which is still more likely to lead to your dreams coming true? Thinking they will or thinking they won't? People usually want to crush your dreams with a be realistic warning. Most teens I know want to be famous athletes or famous musicians, actors, or YouTubers. You may even want to crush your own dreams by thinking, well, my dream is to be an NBA player and I'm a 4'0" kid who can't jump. Yeah, that's not realistic. Pay attention to how that thought makes you feel. My dreams aren't realistic. Okay, maybe they're not. But your dreams, whatever they are, can still get you to a place you want to be. Go watch Monsters University. Right now, my kids are watching it on repeat. It's on Disney+. It's a perfect example. Mike Wazowski, the monster that looks like a green ball with one eye, wants to be the top scarer in the whole world. All right? But he's not scary, not even a little bit. But he holds on to that dream all through school and college, and it drives him to his dream job of being a top scarer. So your dream might go through different variations. It might evolve. All right, but let your dream be a kingdom, not a castle. And you can end up anywhere in that kingdom and be happy. And that way, your dreams, however unrealistic people might say it is, will still drive you. That's so much better than being driven by the fears of your nightmares, which you could totally do if you wanted to. You can either think, I'm able to achieve this, or I probably won't achieve this. Both are options for you. And whichever you think will be true. My dreams have always been outlandish. First, a famous actor, then a famous TV writer, then a famous author, a famous public speaker. None of those have quote unquote come true, but each of those have driven me to where I am right now. And I have loved the drive. Right? That's what it means to be living the dream, in my opinion. To believe you are moving along the path you want to be on at all times. Remember how I said that Jim Carrey was my idol? Well, do you know what he used to do before he became the big famous star that he is now? Back when he was a nobody, he would sit in his car up in the hills of Hollywood and visualize having directors interested in him, having people he admired tell him that his work was good. He would think, well, I do have these things. They're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet. Then he wrote himself a check for $10 million and dated it for Thanksgiving 3 years in the future for acting services rendered. And just before that Thanksgiving came, he landed the role in Dumb and Dumber for $10 million. So what do you do if your dreams don't come true? I don't know, because I don't spend time thinking about that. And you don't need to either. Just know that if the day comes, you'll know exactly what to do. You may even have another dream at that time that will take place of your current one. But you don't do yourself any favors by playing small. Do not put any stock in your nightmares. And by nightmares, I'm referring to the worries and doubts about yourself and about your future. Because the more you think about your nightmares and give them credit, well, I could fail, I'm just saying. All right. The more you do that, the more they will show up in the way you feel and in the way you act. And the way you feel and the way you act is what gives you your results in life. So it's your choice. You want your dreams or your nightmares to come true? Whichever one you want, spend more time thinking about. I'm Joey Massio. Thanks for tuning in.